All right, guys, I wanted to talk about something that is rather disturbing going around right now. A lot of people may have not heard about it just yet, but I'm sure you will. The development of these so-called smart cities, where basically everyone acts like a robot, you get totally tracked, and it's kind of like a community thing. You get pitched, oh, it's a green city, you're not going to let off any CO2 emissions, everyone's going to make the same, and you're going to live comfortably. You're not going to have to worry about being overworked and things like that. You're just going to have to give up your personal freedoms, and we're going to know where you are, and we're going to track everything and really be able to monitor stuff along with having total control, including your own car when they create these new electric cars. And guys, we'll get into all of it. But you just Google smart city and this is what comes up. So let's see what Wikipedia says. A smart city is a technological modern urban area that uses different types of electronic methods and sensors to collect specific data. Information gained from that data is used to manage assets, resources, and services efficiently. In return, the data is used to improve operations across the city. This includes data collected from citizens, devices, building, etc. So guys, basically they're saying, listen, you're going to have to give us all of your data, and in return, it's going to be totally green. There's going to be no CO2 emissions. You just have to give up all of your rights. We're going to have full control. It's all electric vehicles. We're going to control your car. You're all going to have the exact same type of cars, and we will be able to shut your car off if we need to. And really, the one thing that I started thinking about when it came to the whole electric car thing, you would think this whole Elon Musk situation where you've got all these people on the left thinking he's the devil, you think that's a perfect opportunity if you are a liberal multi-billionaire to really utilize that, create your own electric car company to rival Tesla, and then put in the fine print, oh, yeah, we will be able to shut your car off at any point and manually override it, but only for emergencies, of course. But I think it's something bigger than Tesla. They want another type of electric vehicle that will enable them to shut it off at any point. And again, of course, it gets approached as, oh no, it's just for safety. If a criminal has the car, we want to shut it off, things like that, when really they just want total control. So these smart cities want to control everything, and it's all community. This is how socialism gets pitched. This is how communism gets pitched. It's all about so-called community looking out for your neighbor and really using guilt tactics against human beings and saying, listen, if you don't do this, if you don't sacrifice, the people around you will suffer. Do you really want that? It's just like during the pandemic when they said you got to wear masks and everything like that. If you get someone else sick, they get their family member sick who's older, they could die. Do you really want to do that? It's how they get people to obey. They really use guilt against us because we're all human beings and we all want to protect each other. That's why they use it against you. And you see this taken directly from one of these modern sites. Let's see what they say. They say, what do we want? This is their 2050 plan. This is a city. This is the number one, optimized goal for 2050 in one of their smart cities. There's no poverty. So that means it's a socialist place if there's no poverty. Zero hunger, good health and well-being, right? Quality education, gender equality. I don't even know what gender equality means anymore. I think, listen, you should get paid based on how well you do a job, but apparently that's not a thing. Clean water, sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, and economic growth. And that's a big one. The idea to get people to live in these cities, it really comes down to you're not going to work as much. You may be a total robot, but we will offer you affordable housing. You're only going to work 30, 28-hour weeks, whatever. We know among young people listen, guys, they're targeting young people when it comes to these smart cities. You're not going to get a 62-year-old to move into one of these, give up all their data and things like that. The other thing, which is so evil, is this actually seems like a positive improvement for many young people, and this is a big issue that I don't know how to solve. You've got all these young people. Let's say you get a 3.5 GPA in high school, you go to a decent college, you're not getting a scholarship. More than likely, your parents aren't paying $120,000. You're going to have a ton of college debt. So you come out of college with a degree, which may or may not help you. Degrees do help for sure. But you come out with 6 figures worth of college debt, and your job says, listen, we've got a place for you. You can start, you can make your $40,000 a year or whatever at the age of 22, 23, but it's got to be in New York City. It's got to be in Chicago. And I've seen so many videos of these young girls and dudes who are like bragging and showing off their 1-bedroom apartment that they're paying $3,000 a month rent for. And I'm like, brother, that cannot be healthy to live in a 1-bedroom apartment. You're paying $3,000 because you got some sham degree. And because of that degree, you now got a job based off that degree, but you got to live in Chicago and you're making $40,000. And then they get mad about it because it's a terrible existence. And I agree. It makes them resent their bosses. That's how all these people go on social media and they're all complaining about work. And now there's a big anti-work movement amongst young people. But it's like, listen, people are pigeonholed. They get right out of high school at 17, 18. It's the smart thing. College is so-called the smart thing for these kids to go to. And they end up with 6 figures of student debt. And, the job that they get, it's 40 or 50K at the start, and you spend all of your 20s paying off student loans. That's how bad it's gotten. So this is seen as an upgrade for young people. That's what they're saying. That's how they're going to get young people to do this. They're saying, listen, we know how horrible it is. Look at the cost of living. We can cut it down. We're going to prey off of your ability to keep the environment clean, which is a total sham because even if you have smart cities, are there going to be smart cities all over China? Because China emits double the CO2 the United States does. And by the way, even with these smart cities, are we sure we're going to bring our CO2 emissions actually down? This is more just like a social justice, like, oh, I live in a smart city, I'm contributing good to the environment, when really it's probably not going to make much of a difference. And you can see the overall, and you can see number 10, reduce inequality. And one of the big talking points is the idea of these Elon Musk type figures, the multi-billionaires. No one should have that much money while we have starving people. We have people on the streets, things like that. Why is there such a push from mainstream to really go against billionaires? Guys, it's not, and I always say this, they're not angry at Elon Musk because of the money. They're angry at Elon Musk because of the power that comes with the money. So Elon Musk is someone that can say, you know what, you're going to censor people, you're going to manipulate things on social media, I'm just going to buy it, and I'm going to completely change it, and then they're all going to throw a hissy fit, which is exactly what happened. But that is the whole power. Money brings immense power. The government obviously is not going to want anyone to have power like Elon Musk has, so let's spread it all around. Let's limit your work hours. You all live in small areas. If you're living in a city, which I do not recommend. I mean, I think cities are cool and things. You go spend a weekend there, you go out for a night, stuff like that. I don't think living in cities is healthy. Living in a 1-bedroom apartment, spending $3,000 on rent, especially for young people, I don't think that's healthy. But really, that's what these kids are forced to do. They get degrees, they get a job offer. Oh, go live in New York. You're paying half of your salary to live in a 1-bedroom apartment. So you can see, and then they've got the climate action. That's really where they get people to live in these cities. It's like, oh, we want to reduce the climate waste and stuff like that, when clean mobility instead of dirty traffic. What is this crap? You see all the buildings and stuff. You live in your own room. You don't own anything. You own no land. No, let Bill Gates own all the land. Just cram yourself in an apartment. Go to your job. We're going to cut your hours. You're not going to be overworked, but we're going to track everything. We're going to have total control of your car, self-driving cars. It helps the public. It helps your neighbor. It keeps everyone safe. That's how it's always approached. They leverage human beings being nice and having, a conscience. They use that against you. So they'll say, you want to keep yourself safe. You want to keep others safe. You will do this act to sacrifice your personal rights for the betterment of the community. That's how they'll always leverage it. And that's what they're doing. They're going to try and get people to move to these cities. And you can see just this ridiculous anti-human, this is called a hypertube or something, where you just sit in a tube and that's kind of the transportation on it. And they say, oh no, this is the future. Yeah, you don't own a car, get in your tube, go to your job that's meaningless, and we're not going to overwork you. It's going to be so nice. It's going to be so clean. Again, no land, don't buy anything. You'll make $40,000. Everyone's making $40,000. You could have the most sales. You could have the least sales. That is fairness, though. According to the smart city, everyone makes $40,000. And of course, what does that create? No one gets anything done because it doesn't matter whether you do well or bad. That is the whole issue with the idea of communism or socialism. So that is what's going on. Something I just saw. And really, guys, it is sad. They want to do some of this stuff by 2030, these smart cities. I think how they'll roll it out, if these ever were seriously considered, it's all going to come down to the green, the no admissions, things like that. And then also I think they're going to offer people less hours and say, look, it's 4 days a week. It's 25 total hours. The Gen Z is obsessed. They say they're getting overworked and things like that. Come here. Yeah, sure, you're not going to own anything. We'll have full control of all of your data. You're just going to be a complete cog, which is what we want. But no, you will be fine. You'll live a nice life. You'll have freedom to go out to bars and things like that. And really, they're going to utilize people's conscience and wanting to keep the planet clean. They're going to utilize that to their advantage. And unfortunately, I think a lot of these people just don't know what they want because they say they hate billionaires and millionaires. Well, then why do you have a job that you hate? Because you have to make money. Guys, whether we like it or not, we all want financial freedom. Now, maybe some of us only want $1 million, $2 million, whatever financial freedom is to you. Maybe you don't want to spend much money. I get it. But it's like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You hate people that are rich, but then you continue to work and bitch, go to a job that you hate to try and get money to get more wealthy. We all want the financial freedom to not have to worry about any bosses. But then you have these same people that say they hate rich people complain about their boss. Well, yes, that's the whole point. We're trying to get money so we don't have to have a boss and live our 20s and our 30s without having to deal with any of this crap and really have to, deal with these bosses and really just a complete waste of a life. So guys, we will see what happens when it comes to these smart cities. I'm sure, this is kind of a newer thing that they're trying to really get these things going in the 30s, 40s, 50s. We will see what happens, and it's going to be, it's new, it's the future. I think it's very important we are really aware of these, I would consider anti-human type things like the smart city, like Neuralink, things like that. And of course, Neuralink is a thing with Elon Musk where it's like, no, we're going to approach it like, yes, we just want to help disabled people. Give me a break. They're going to help the disabled people. Then when it gets fine-tuned and they test it on all the disabled people, then the smart people get it, or excuse me, the rich people get it, and they get a massive leg up on everyone. It's completely anti-human, and it's not good for the human race. That's just the bottom line on Neuralink. But either way, guys, we will see what happens. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.